Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Tangent Podcast. Episode number 97 for the week of January 9th, 2017. I'm your host, Brian Thomas, alongside my lovable co-host, Justin Kane.
Aloha.
The beacon of light, Anthony Salvatore.
Hello.
The bootless wonder, Gary Hines.
Hello.
Sleeveless wonder, Gary Hines.
Mike. Hello.
And we're the podcast for the site pixelatedpoints.com, where we talk about the news or the games that we've been playing during the week in a little segment we like to call Under Your Thumb. Then we take a quick break and come back with the drunken news, where these guys get drunk and I read the news. But before we get into drunken news and Under Your Thumb,
Right. The important stuff.
the important things this week. God, Mike, how was your week, pal?
Oh, I'm going first.
Yeah, you're going first this week.
Yeah,
Yeah, what'd
it was
you do?
good.
Yeah,
Recovering from my cold, sickness, whatever it was, flu. I think it was a flu.
good to hear that you're sounding better.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
I was worried.
Nice.
Back to work.
Justin,
I was worried about you.
Speaking of work,
What?
huh?
What?
Go ahead.
How was work?
How was work? What'd you do this week?
I caught shoplifters.
Nice. Good job.
Thanks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty
I did
cool.
it.
You did it.
I did
How many
it.
shoplifters did you catch?
Caught one.
One.
Caught
More than me.
Caught a shoplifter.
More than me.
More than me.
Yep. Saw a lot of shoplifting. Caught a.
All
It
right.
was worth it.
Doing your part, I guess.
It's worth it, you know.
Got the one.
My next.
When you
case.
wake up in the morning, that's what pushes you. You
yeah,
catch
I'm
that
just
one
like,
guy.
can't wait to go to work and catch that one guy.
Starts with one.
Starts with one. Yeah, Anthony.
all it is.
Starts with one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're up
all it
next.
takes
We
is
don't
one.
want to hear
I
about what
gotta
you're
wait
doing
for
at
him.
work. We'll leave that off air.
Really? I can tell you a funny story about the Staples.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so somebody else had bought a piece of furniture, right? And
Yes,
we
smashed it.
We assemble it, right? Someone had put the chair on backwards.
You put the chair on
So
what?
I don't know
backwards?
who
Or,
assembled it.
just
Like
assembled the legs
so
in the
it gives
seat?
you arrows to show you which direction the chair is supposed to. He put the underside of it like backwards.
Oh, like the,
so
butt,
arm-
the butt part wasn't lined up
Yeah.
properly.
So
yeah.
the guy came back and
and was pissed off. Did he break it or did he just bring it back?
No, we just put it on the display floor. And then just
Yeah,
give him-
mine's
just give him
still
a
in
new
the
chair.
garage. Just smashed the all shit.
Smash
So,
to bits.
But
Yeah.
you know that should have been a warning sign for.
for any shopper
Yeah,
out
don't
there.
buy furniture. At
Don't get any Staples furniture.
No, doesn't
Definitely
work out.
not. We have a
work out.
piece here, and it's kind of doing the job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for 53 cents.
For 53 cents, you can't go wrong with that. Anyways,
Brian,
Gary, yeah.
You could say
Brian.
it's a staple in this home.
Dude, you
can't tell.
You're not allowed to.
I'm doing whatever I want.
You're not allowed to judge
not.
your own puns.
No.
But I'll give them.
Yeah,
There you go.
let's
I'll
go.
give him one.
So the reason why we have this on the table was because somebody had a birthday this week.
Yeah.
Hey
Shit,
Brian,
it
how was?
wasn't.
Hey Brian, how was
Yeah.
your week?
Well, it was
Yeah,
good. I had a
Brian.
birthday on Tuesday. My birthday is January 3rd.
Sick.
What'd you get for a gift?
I got this wonderful gift from Gary and Justin. It is I guess, a lamp, but it also makes the coin sound from Super Mario Brothers, which is fucking awesome. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
We were trying to
appreciate it.
find.
It's gonna get pretty annoying tonight, I would imagine.
Yeah,
but
we apologize in advance.
We were gonna get you the Zelda
don't.
one, but we couldn't get the right rupee sound, so we were like, "Fuck it."
Yeah. Did you have the right color though? That's more
we
important.
did,
Yeah.
And
but we didn't
shape.
like it. I was like, "This isn't the green I like. Fuck this," and we threw it, and we got this.
I appreciate it.
I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, did you hear the scream? Awful.
But yeah, I had my birthday. I never really do anything big for it. It usually gets melded in with New Year's anyways. So
Womp womp.
just kind of quiet. Quiet week. Work
Good.
sucked, but
Tell me
got
how you
nothing.
really
you
feel.
got nothing?
No.
All right. Anyways, we're a podcast about video games, and we're
Couldn't tell.
yeah, you couldn't tell by that intro, but we're gonna start talking about games that we've been playing during the week. Last week, Anthony, you went last, so you get to choose who goes first.
All right. So let's go to Brian.
All right.
Thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, long and hard.
I-
I was actually gonna.
Really thought you were gonna say my name. I really thought he was.
Say North Carolina.
Come on and raise up.
Wow.
Is that Nelly?
No, that's Petey Pablo.
Petey Pablo. Oh shit.
Yeah, you're welcome. Look it up. Google it. Google it.
Yolanda.
Monique, Christina, Siobhan.
I also thought this was a video game podcast.
It is a video game podcast. Sorry. So the first game that I played this week, I finally platinumed Dishonored 2. Took me a long time,
Congrats,
but I
yeah.
finally did it. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So, Yeah, all the trophies, all single player, no multiplayer stuff. So anytime a game that I really like doesn't have multiplayer trophies, I'll try to get the platinum trophy. And this game, I did it in 3 playthroughs. First time, played it the way that I wanted to. Second time, I just fucking killed everybody, no powers. And then the third time, I played no killing people, no being seen. And played
How
through-
difficult was that?
Someone else asked me this earlier during the week, and I said I would probably guess about 40 reloads. So 40 times I was caught.
That's not actually that
That's
bad.
actually probably
Not bad.
Easier,
It
that
took-
easier than the first
half
one.
as many as I would be.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy. So the first playthrough, I took about 22 to 24 hours.
I'm at
So,
Dishonored.
like, Dishonored. No, sorry,
Dishonored.
I'm talking about my first playthrough. The first Dishonored game, I remember it being slightly less difficult.
Well, let's stay on track. Here.
Yeah.
All right,
So
so
the
you play your
second one-
first playthrough.
First playthrough was 22 hours. Second playthrough was about 6 because I was just running and killing people. And then this one was about 9 because you do have it took me about 9, almost 10 hours.
And you weren't looking for anything. 'Cause you already saw
Well, I was collecting things because when you collect, you can collect runes and things like that and
the bone
upgrade.
shards.
Yeah. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of collecting because it did help my character. But I only played through it with using the blink ability, which is you go from one teleport. And
What's the hardest trophy to get?
The hardest trophy to get?
Platinum.
Like, well, obviously the platinum is like the end all be all. That doesn't really count. Like, what's the toughest one that you had?
The toughest one that I had to do was definitely don't be seen. Because not killing people isn't really an issue because you can just knock somebody out. But being seen is a whole nother thing because there are certain things that you have to
Like activate and
and
story stuff
so
you
you
have
have
to
to
do.
go over here and make sure no one sees you. Actually, one of the hardest ones to do was actually it's called silence, and you have to kill Karen Jindosh, or you have
What's
to
that?
eliminate Karen Jindosh, Jesus, without him ever knowing that you were in his house. And this is chapter 4, and it's the best level in the entire game because it is. You're in his mansion, and that's all I'll say because you're about to start playing this.
I am.
So there's a way to sneak through this entire place without ever being detected by anything in there.
So can you eliminate him without killing him? Like, do
Yeah.
you get him
Just-
like out of
that's
the
what I-
picture? You use
that's
this like
what-
a scenario
yes,
where he's
yes.
out. Because
So-
I remember in the other game you could have 2 of the guys like their tongues cut out and them dragged away to work in a mine or something like that.
That's what happens in this one.
Oh, cool. Fucking cool.
So there are things that you can do. And to be honest with you, I'm not tired of the game. I would go back and play through it again, but there's nothing for me to do. So maybe if there's some single player DLC, I'll buy it and play it through because I do find myself kind of going like, I wish I didn't finish that so quickly, but that's
But in
really-
reality, you put quite a few hours into it.
yeah, I
with
did.
all
It's
3
actually,
playthroughs.
it's my favorite game of last year. I don't think it's the best. It's just my favorite.
Came in the very sneaky end.
Yeah.
There you go.
The other game, I also finished another game. I finished Oceanhorn, the monster of Uncharted Sea. It is, I talked about it last week. It's a Diablo Zelda clone.
I think we saw it last week.
Yeah, you saw us, or you saw me play it a little bit when you guys got here.
I'm dying on that cookie.
Yeah.
But I finished that, and the story is just shit. It's like they
nice.
don't need to have a story in this. It's like, oh, your father was trying to kill Oceanhorn, and now it's your job to do it because your dad's been gone for like 6 years or
We
whatever.
don't have an army anywhere that can take care of this. Like,
No,
He's like
Well,
12.
you're-
He's taking on an
Yeah,
army.
it's this gigantic like robotic whale thing, and
sounds like it needs to be slain.
It's Wind Waker, so you go from island to island, and it's very Wind Waker-esque, but it's like kids first Wind Waker, kids first Zelda, kids first Diablo, because it's like a 3/4 isometric top-down game where it feels a lot like Diablo meets Zelda, but not nearly as good as either one. I was really enjoying the gameplay of it for a little while, and then it kind of got tiring. And then I realized how far I was into the game where it was like, you need to do this one last thing, and then you can fight Oceanhorn. And I was like, all right, cool, let me finish this dungeon. And the dungeons take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes tops. So it's nothing too difficult. The only problems are the vagueness of like what you're supposed to do. So there's a lot of times where you're supposed to
wasting
bomb
time.
a wall and you don't know that you're supposed to bomb a wall. There's no like telltale sign to do it. It's just you got to figure it out.
yeah.
So the end boss was fucking awful. Awful. You get an item, you get a flute, right? You're just walking, you're on the last island or whatever, and there's a flute on the ground. It's not like in a treasure chest, like all the other items. You get the bombs, they're from a fucking treasure chest. You get the bow and arrow, treasure chest. It's a flute laying on the ground. You pick it up, and it's just like, oh, you found a flute. And you're like, okay, great. So maybe I have to use this somewhere.
Yeah, looks like someone forgot to pay the piper.
No.
No.
That's
He's going for him.
Working on it. I'm thinking about the brain's working.
There you go. I like it. Like the initiative.
He's paying attention.
So in true Zelda form, you get the item in the dungeon or whatever, the island, and then you have to use it on the boss. It's used in a very stupid way on the final boss. It took me apparently I figured this out after about 20 minutes of in the same fight with the same boss. So like you knock it down and then this guy gets off of the thing and you fight the guy and then he runs back. And so I do this like I would probably say about 10 to 15 times. I'm like, how can I not kill this thing or whatever? So I'm like, maybe I'm supposed to use the flute, maybe. So I try like using the flute at different points in the thing, and then I finally figured it out, and I was like, it's so obtuse. The game just doesn't make any sense as to why.
Yeah.
Why
What did
things
you say?
are
Obtuse.
obtuse.
Acute.
It's the opposite of acute. But
How long do you think this game is?
10 hours. It took me 10 hours to finish it. So
Good for you.
yeah, it's
You're a
Proud of
fucking
you.
boss.
thanks. But the last game that I played this week is it's a new game for me. Is Forza Horizon 3. So I have never played any Forza games. I've always been interested because I do like racing games, but only ones few far in between. So
Heard good things about it.
yeah, it's fucking awesome. I'll tell you that right now. The first thing,
Okay.
Can't complain with
I
that.
believe
No.
you.
So the first thing that you'll notice about the game is that, it's really pretty.
Sorry, you're like killing me right now. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It is pretty.
it is.
You sound
really
like you
pretty.
just playing this game. You're like, now a truck guy. Let me tell you, that Hemi,
that diesel
is
stack.
pretty.
You smell that? That's gas burning. Yeah.
Brian's first car game. It's over.
So
The American flag Ford truck.
yeah, you like that? Yeah.
It's pretty.
So it starts you off. You're in Australia, and you're basically Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. Everyone knows who you are already, and they're like, "Hey, man, all these people came out here to see you race," and you're like, "All right, I guess that's cool." And so the very first mission they start you off in is they drop you in this. It's like a Lambo, I think, and you're driving this Lambo through this racetrack, but the entire time there is a helicopter carrying a Jeep doing the same track that you're doing. So the Jeep's always almost in front of you. And you're doing these
The
crazy
helicopter's
stunts.
carrying it?
Yeah. So the
said.
helicopter's carrying the Jeep. And so
Okay.
they're doing these crazy stunts. And you go, like, there's a lot of things where, like, you'll go off a jump and it'll slow down time. And the Jeep being carried by the helicopter goes, like, right over you. And the guy tries to, like, give you a high five from his window from yours. So you're like, all right, this is, like, just an adrenaline junkie, fun, goofy game. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it is. So you start off there and you earn fans, and the more fans you get, the bigger you can expand your like festival. So
So you're just running this like big car festival in
it's
the
like a
desert?
car festival EDM thing where
Yeah, I
Think
saw
like
some of
Fast
it.
and the Furious.
Yeah. Well, I only seen the first one, and then I was like,
Vin
all set.
Diesel.
yeah,
Like
Vin
seven.
Diesel, yes,
Yeah, there's like 7 of them now.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't stop this guy.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, so right now I've probably logged in about 4 or 5 hours, and I've unlocked the first place that you unlock is a green, lush, kind of more suburban area that has a lot of almost rainforest-esque type things, and then once you get enough fans, you start to unlock more a car, and then more missions for that type of car, and then once you gather enough fans to upgrade your festival to like level 2, they then go, all right, do you want to, we're going to explore Australia a little bit more. Do you want to stay in this suburban area? where we can build up here, or do you want to expand and go further out? So you have two options of
Home
either
base.
going to, you make a second base either in the outback or in like the city. And I was like, I've played enough racing games in the city. I don't need narrow streets. I want fucking sand dunes. So I went out to the outback, and I've been building that one up, and that's pretty awesome. So very Joshua Tree, Burning Man, EDM festival things going on.
What are
there.
your objectives? Are there
So
just
they're
like
just
the
like-
main races, or are you just doing like cool shit everywhere?
So a little bit of
game
both.
points.
So the last racing game that I tried for a second was Burnout Paradise, and I feel like you and I both played this, and it like hit the itch, and I was like, shit, I need a good racing game. So that one, at every intersection, every street, you had something to do. So it was a little overwhelming. It's a lot of the same thing over and over again. There are tons of different roads to go and search for, but there's not every street has something to do.
Yeah. Is there like a bracket? Are you a racer in like a racing league? Is there a bracket that you have an
So-
option to be like you are? Are you a pro racer?
No,
Because
so what-
I think that
Some-
as a racing game, I would probably like.
So what
like the
happens
brackets.
is, there's not
The
a whole
number
lot
one
of
racer.
bracket things going on. It's just like, hey, there's a race. We're setting up a race here.
So it's more like
it's-
street style than like organized. Like
No, it is
racing
very
league.
organized. So the festivals that
gaining
you're building,
popularity.
you're gaining popularity, and then it's like, hey, we're setting up this event at this time. Go over there, and then when
And
you
then you
do
do
it,
that race,
yeah, you
and-
do that race, and you go to another one, and then there's also stuff like, hey, try to smash all these signs, or hey, try to make the jump instead of going, like if you hit 100 feet, you get 1 star on this jump. If you hit 300 feet, you get 2 stars. 500, 3 stars. And the more you get,
Have you
the
got a
more
500
people.
yet?
From fans.
On one of them, I have. Not on the one you guys saw me doing earlier. That one's a little more difficult.
But you want a Mercedes.
Yeah,
Well,
I did win a
still want some.
Mercedes. So, but
want
yeah, you
something
do.
faster.
You do unlock new cars, and every time you unlock a new car, you get to choose from like one of 6 cars that you or whatever. So
Is it
it's
like models of the same car? Or
similar things. So like you'll get you can get a Jeep, or you can get just SUV type of cars, or you can get more like exotic cars, or like beater cars, or whatever you're unlocking at that point. You get to choose that car, and then each car has its own paint job and stuff like that. So there's a lot of customization there, but then you can also download skins that people have created on the Forza website that you can then do. So I have a dune buggy that is the Normandy. It's the N7 logo, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Mass Effect, I'll take that.
Yep. They were playing the Halo theme song.
So the more people,
soundtrack.
Yep,
the stunts,
the more
okay.
people that you get, the bigger your festival, the more radio stations you can sign. So, and they're actually back to the customization a little bit. There's a ton of customization, even to the point where it's like tires, brakes. You can fine tune almost every single part of the car. I haven't gotten into any of that because
Don't put any
That's-
spoilers on your car, dude.
I don't.
There was
don't.
one.
Yeah,
Just don't.
it's just way over my head at that point. I'm just racing
Spoil
and
it.
having fun.
Spoiler alert.
Also, oh, come on, guys, you're better than that. Yeah,
He just wants to hit the button.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Don't do that. The the game itself doesn't take it's a sim racing game, but it's
Yeah.
not so crazy where it's almost impossible to play like Gran Turismo. It's almost a mix between Gran Turismo and Burnout, and I'm loving it. So I'm really enjoying myself. I don't know how long I'll play it or how long I'll want to continue playing it, but it's always there for me if I do want to go back to it.
How many cars?
So far I've unlocked 6, but each, like I said, every time you unlock one, you can
There was
choose
some you passed.
one. Yeah,
Do you know
last
how
time.
many cars there
are
are
in the game. I would say upwards to 300. There's a ton. There are
That's
a
awesome.
lot of cars that you can get. There's also this thing called a Drivatar where if your other Xbox Live friends have the game, they kind of leave, this is their best time, whatever, and you can find them in the world. They're not actually driving.
So when they're hitting the jumps and stuff, you can see
Yeah.
how far
It's the
Gary
ghost
Exactly.
jumped.
Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like their ghost, but then they're also in the game even. So, for example, I have a friend that I know doesn't play this game, but he's in the game.
Driving
His character, his Xbox Live arcade name.
Avatar.
What's
The Avatar.
Yeah, is there. So,
I think
Yeah,
Rocket
just
League
driving
did that
around.
and stuff. They auto, or it was Call of Duty. If you have a game with bots, they'll just
Yeah.
throw in your friends' names
yeah,
in
that's
there.
kind of what you do. So, a lot of times I'll run into my friend Mikey like in the game, and I'm like, "Fuck you, Mikey! I'm not coming in 7th."
Yeah, like you son of a bitch.
And like, even though I know he's not playing the game with me, but it almost feels like he is. So,
Yeah, and
Yep.
you can send him screenshots
Cool.
and talk shit to him.
yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's not really. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to continue playing it. But that's really it for this week. Gary, why don't you go? Why don't you go? That's going to be it for me.
I can go.
You can go.
Gary, why don't you go?
Can you go fast?
Sure.
Vroom vroom. I don't know. Zoom
I don't
zoom.
know.
What's that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know where you're going.
Minus the button.
know
Take
where
it
you're
away.
Not, nobody.
I don't think that was a pun.
Yeah, that wasn't a pun. That was
was
I
just
feel like you were
weird as
trying
shit.
with the go fast with your game.
Vroom, vroom. I thought he was hitting on him. Can you go fast? Vroom,
I don't know
vroom.
what that was.
We'll be back after this.
Okay, so I played and completed Shadow Warrior 2, which I had started last week.
nice. This is a week
On
of
the master
completion
race?
right now.
Yeah, yeah, and it's pretty similar to you. The story is fucking awful.
No Wang.
Oh,
No,
Wang's
so-
all day.
Lo Wang is still hilarious. I mean, it's still funny. The problem I have with it now is that it's not linear, so it's open world. So I have a problem with it, but I love it at the same time. This game, at the end of the day, is a game that I'll go back to. I love playing through it. The replayability is huge on it right now.
Why?
So the reason why the replayability is I played the multiplayer where you can join into other people's games, and it's pretty cool how you can pull up like a search bar of everyone in their games, because you can set your single player game to a multiplayer open lobby, right? And say, okay, I'll allow up to 3 other people to join this game, or 2 other people, and then you go and play your game, and then people can search your game and say, okay, this person's level 19 playing this mission
Help you
on this
out.
part of the map. I'll go in there and help them out.
Okay.
And the
Or I'm
reward,
doing that anyways.
the reward you get for that is you get a ton of like loot drops, like all over the place. Like I'm talking like way more than just running through the game by yourself.
Okay.
When I mean like epic loot drops and
Yeah.
legendary gear and all that stuff is dropping like fucking crazy in multiplayer.
So they're really kind of pushing for people to.
Play together because you're gonna get the better gear and level.
You're
up.
playing this on PC, right?
On PC, yeah, because it's coming out for consoles at some point in 2017, but they haven't given a release date for it yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I played a bunch of multiplayer to kind of check it out, see how it was, ranked up a bunch, and then went into the single player. I had started last week a single player campaign where I played 4 hours of it on the easiest difficulty, and I restarted on normal difficulty, and because I kind of knew what I wanted to do with the character, and I didn't do that beforehand because the customization is like
The
off the
stats
charts.
were.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like every single time I find a new weapon or pick up a new item or finish a mission, I am switching out my class. I'm switching out my weapons. I'm taking this embedded on this weapon and putting it into this weapon because you keep finding better and better shit. It's like Borderlands where there's just so many different weapons that you're finding, and then you can pick the side missions as you're going, and it will show you before, if you finish the side mission, you'll be able to choose between these 2 weapons. And if you finish this one, you'll be able to choose between these 2 weapons. So then you can know which missions you want to kind of go do.
Gotcha.
To try to grab the weapons. But the problem with the multiplayer too is like if you have 4 people in one world, the game scales to having 4 people.
Okay, so it's more difficult.
So it's a lot more difficult. But we'll say it's not harder. It just takes longer because it's pretty bullet spongy. Like
Increase the
and
health. And then,
it increases the health, but it also like there's a lot more minions around, which is fine. But when you have like a bigger boss, it can take a while, and it's not like you're gonna die. It's just
You gotta
it
whack
has a
him
lot of
1,000
health.
times. Yeah.
Because this game is through and through a melee first-person game. Like so, it's pretty much it's Doom, but with a sword, is what this game is.
Sure, Doom would be great with a sword.
It is. It's fucking awesome. The
PC.
gameplay is ridiculously fun. It's very fast-paced. So when I restarted my
You like
character,
chopping people in half and arms and like all sorts of shit.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Like I restarted my character and I put all my stats into elemental damage. So
Can't go
I
wrong.
ranked up all the way my fire damage, my electricity damage, my toxic damage, and then ranked up all the way, taking the ability of their elemental resist on enemies. So they can't even resist what I'm putting out. And
They can't resist
is
when
what
you're
I'm putting
putting
out.
out.
I like it.
There we go. So I was just doing a ton of toxic damage to enemies, and I upgraded the toxic so that way enemies will explode when you kill them with it. So then all of a sudden my screen, like, you can't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a couple different times
like
where
that
like
horde
I
mode
thought
when
my
we were-
PC was gonna like just crash and burn because like there was so much shit on the screen happening at once.
You got top tier. It's not,
Yeah.
nothing's happening.
It reminds me of when we did the horde mode in Halo, and we both had the Gauss rifles with infinite ammo. And
That's
we
what
couldn't
it
see
looks like.
anything. It was just green screen constantly.
Yeah. So I mean, but it was a lot of fun, and then like I said, I beat the game. So I'm interested in whether I'm going to restart on a harder difficulty and try to play it through like multiplayer wise, or if I'm going to keep this character and try to rank up these weapons. And because I saw people were in the multiplayer at like level like 40s, I was at level like 26 when I beat the game. It's about a 12-hour campaign. I started skipping the cutscenes towards the end.
That
Not gonna
bad,
lie.
huh?
Yeah, I just was not feeling it, and I didn't want it because the problem was their cutscenes weren't like nothing was happening. It was like you went and then you talked to this person, and the talking would be a cutscene.
Yeah.
You were not like moving around.
Yeah.
There's nothing being shown. It's just talking. So I'm just like I'm not really too interested in the story.
Yeah. Wang joke here.
It sounds
Get
like.
out of here.
So is it like Fallout where you walk and then it's like cutscene talking back and forth, but you don't have the options?
Options.
No, I'm in
Yes,
this.
but there's no options. There's no
Yeah, that's what I'm
options.
saying. So, all right.
You can just choose to do the mission or not do the mission, which you're going to do the missions. They broke the game down into
Or not.
three different. Yeah, they broke the game down into three different sections. So like in the first half of the game, you have a home base, the Wang Center, and
Just an
Pretty sure that's a.
once.
What do we have here? Do we have a Wang theater?
Yeah, we have a Wang theater.
Yeah.
Here in Boston.
Yep, there you go. So the
Boston,
Wang Center.
Massachusetts.
Dude, what was that, Brian?
a Wang joke.
No, there was
No,
no Wang
no.
joke. I don't know.
I wasn't
I
saying.
don't-
I mean, it's just that. You know, Steve was always so worried about where we are. You're just in there, Boston, Massachusetts, throwing it out. We're gonna get our crazy fans. They're gonna come here and attack us now.
Boston.
The
is very
thousands
big.
and thousands
I'm okay
of
with
fans.
Boston.
Oh, what was it that you didn't like?
Pinpoint location.
Oh, right, I remember now.
Well,
Thanks for
still,
calling
Brian-
attention to that mid podcast.
Yeah.
But Brian, would you please? I don't need all of our crazy fans knowing exactly
We're
what.
just
we're
gonna
Justin,
beat
what
the
was
shit
that?
in
out
fact,
of you.
because of that outburst, no more coin box for you. Oh,
Knock it
no.
off.
What's up?
Denied.
Nope, you
What's
lost
up?
it.
Denied the box.
Yeah. Okay, so back.
Come on, come on,
He gets that.
come on.
So to get back to it, the game's broken down into three different sections. You start at the first section, you have your home location. Once you beat a certain level, it will tell you like if you progress any further, you're not going to be able to do these side missions. So
Gotcha.
like
You got to go back and do
you got to
those.
beat those before things are gonna, like the map's going to change and things are going to change. And it does that two different times until the very end of the game. The end of the game was pretty underwhelming. It was just a big boss battle that was a bullet
the shit out of
sponge,
him,
and
yeah.
it just took a while. But it's a fun game, really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Fighting demons, you said?
It's demons.
Demons, yeah.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
demons.
Yep.
It's Doom with the sword. I wanted to do a potentially like a gun. There's guns. There's bow and arrows. There's those shotguns. There's rocket launchers.
So try to
Then-
do the Doom that way.
So I was like, well, maybe I'll upgrade to do some of the like rifles and do that more damage. And then it just turns into this sword is way too cool. Or these like I got Wolverine claws. You have every
Fuck guns.
melee weapon
Yeah.
you could think of. You have a chainsaw. You have a chainsaw that has two chainsaws. Like
The double chainsaw.
like I mean, you're gonna use it. It's a melee game, and it's a lot of fun. They also do have these things called the trials, which you do them, you gain points. They're pretty much horde modes, and if you complete them, you get like three of these like purple spheres. You can take these spheres and infuse them into your weapons and make them even stronger. So you can play just the trials and try to gain that, so that way you can make your weapons progressively
to help you
stronger
with the
through it.
trials.
Yeah.
It goes hand in
story.
hand.
But it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Shadow Warrior, the first one, is on Xbox and PlayStation. It's probably like $20. And this one, when it does come out in sometime this year, I would recommend it for sure. Really enjoyed it.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
What
then
else
the
you got?
last game that I played, or I didn't even finish it.
It's a demo.
I didn't finish it.
How did you not finish?
I'm going to tell you why I didn't finish it. I
Yeah,
played
go
was
on.
Resident Evil 7
Biohazard.
the Biohazard demo. This game stressed me the fuck out.
I don't know.
Not
how-
him.
Yeah,
You didn't even like it.
Not
Wasn't
him.
you.
Not
Fucking
even stone.
It's bright.
Stone cold
It's too
hard over
bright.
there.
I don't know what settings you're playing on, but mine wasn't bright.
So you-
I'm playing fucking headphones in, dark room, like that shit sketchy as
yeah,
fuck.
but when you
are
get
in
to
the
the,
basement.
oh, you didn't make it to the end, did you?
No.
Oh, could you see?
No, I did not make it to the end.
You see like the light
has
at the
feelings.
door, like it's.
Oh, so at the very end there is light, for a
light.
minute.
Yeah,
and
there's some light at the
then
very-
something happens, but I'm not gonna. You know.
So it's too light just at the very end?
No, well, he's just
Well,
not
like-
afraid of it at all because he has no feeling.
Because you're in a like, it's like you ever see Saw 2 when you're in a house?
Sure.
It's just like how are you gonna keep a guy like he can't get out? Like makes no sense.
I mean, if there's...
There's smashable things.
Yeah, like-
there's smashable things, but it would
I
defeat
mean,
the purpose
for
of the
the
game.
story.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so it starts with you waking up on the floor,
Yes.
blood everywhere. You're in this random abandoned house.
Been there before.
And the one thing that sticks out to me right away is the graphics, right? So it's shot with some sort of photorealism to it that makes it like super realistic. It's not the best looking game that I've played,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's very realistic looking. It's very creepy.
They must do like shadows. or something.
Photorealistic.
Yeah.
That's... You've got the right... You've got the right stuff.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So right away, you feel like this is different than other games.
Well, it is also made for VR.
Super immersive.
Yeah, and
You
I would
feel
shit
like you
my
really
pants if I
did
played
wake
this.
up with blood on you.
Yeah, so I really would shit my pants if I was playing this on VR. I probably
I
wouldn't
don't,
be able
dude,
to.
you made it through Outlast. I didn't think this was.
I didn't make it through Outlast. I
All right,
played Outlast
but you
for
played
a couple hours.
Outlast. This demo's like 15. What's it like? 20 minutes.
It's stressed
Don't look at me,
out.
I didn't
You're not,
play it.
I don't. Are you wearing headphones? You're doing the whole
I
thing.
never do have. I don't have actually.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
couldn't do
It's
headphones.
different when you're hearing noises behind
When
you.
you're
and
fully
shit.
immersed.
Yeah, we're not-
No.
all right.
How's your vision, by the way?
2020.
2020.
All right.
It's in the dark.
So you
Could be
wake
even
up
better.
in this abandoned building. You got to try to find a way to get out of the house. You walk around it for a little bit. You end up finding some was it
Photos. So lock it is.
some like chain cutters or whatever.
Bolt cutters.
Bolt cutters. You open up a cabinet.
finger.
You find a VHS tape.
That's what. All
You
right.
take the VHS tape. You bring it back to the room that you're in because there's a TV in there. You put the VHS tape into the VCR. Then you actually go into the tape. So then you're playing what you're seeing.
Okay.
So then you're playing the role of a cameraman. There's a reporter there with his producer, and you're at the
Climbing
house
into the
that
basement,
you woke up
yeah.
in. And they start telling you the story of what happened was that this house was abandoned. There was a family. Something happened. And
They investigate and then.
and so then
So
they're
you
there
found
to-
the footage from their camera in the house?
Yeah.
Guy kept it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
They're probably
So
dead.
then I'm thinking you're just sitting there watching this, but now you're playing this. And so then your character doesn't say anything. The other two characters, the reporter and the producer, are going back and forth, just kind of talking about it. You make your way inside the house. You're in the kitchen, and then the reporter's like, "Hey, look at me. Like this would be a good area for a good shot." Meanwhile, the producer, I see him. He's like walking off into the distance. Next thing you know, he turns the corner, and the game's like distracting you with the reporter saying like, "Hey, take my picture." Oh, like, and then he's like, "Where's
Blair Witch Project.
yeah, where is this guy? Where is this guy?" And all of a sudden, he's gone, and you're like, "Great." You walked around the corner in this
disappeared.
house, and you disappeared. Like I saw that one coming. So you walk to go to try to find him. You realize that there's some sort of compartment that like you open it up and like a hole in the wall emerges
From
where
the
you
fireplace. It's like a key
can-
hidden in the
yeah,
fireplace.
in the fireplace, and so you can walk through.
Typical RE.
So the the reporter tells you, the cameraman, he's like, well, there's a staircase, there's a ladder that goes down into the basement. Like, you go down first. Because he's like, you can get the shot of me coming down, is kind of how he was saying it. So you go down, and when you get to the very bottom, you turn around.
Shuts the door on you.
No, you turn around, and it's like the Blair Witch Project.
The guy's, yeah, he's.
The guy is standing against the wall, just looking at the wall behind you.
Ah, so he's possessed somehow.
So then you're just like, what the fuck? And then
drops
you,
it?
You end up walking up to him, you touch his shoulder. The guy's impaled through the mouth with a pipe. And he like falls back on you. And when he
The
falls
producer?
back on you,
No,
the
the
yeah,
rant-
the
The
producer,
producer,
that
yeah.
was
The
walking
cam,
away.
he falls in the
And
cam.
he falls on top of you, and then there's the guy's face is like all fucked up, and then you see feet walking towards you, and then the video cuts out.
Creepy.
And then you're back now.
And then
Just
you're
saw
back
that
now.
in that room.
To tell you what to do.
Yeah, you're back, and then there was like a note. As soon as the video ended, it was like, "I shall dash you against the stones," was what the note said, which I found was like very strange and weird.
Is that the clue it gave you to?
I will dash you against the stones, is what it said. As soon as like I stopped watching the VCR, like there was a note right next to me. So I'm like, okay, great. I end up walking out of that room, and I go upstairs. You go upstairs, yeah?
I don't remember. Yeah, I probably don't. All I know is the fireplace, and then he, like I said, the trick, and then you go back down the basement, and then the ending was what I kind of remember.
Okay. So I went upstairs after that, and when I turned the corner, there's 3 mannequins.
The little girl's room is the dolls, right?
I don't know. I knew that there was 3 mannequins to my left. I walk through. I go to the right. I look back around. There's 4 mannequins. So then I know the game's fucking with me, because now there was 3. Now there's 4.
Are you sure you didn't see 4 originally?
No,
Brian?
I'm sure.
Brian.
I'm sure.
Gary?
I'm sure.
Hallucinating.
I'm 100% sure. They were
It is
fucking with
something
me.
like I think if you because there's a little girl's room. I think the doll does the same.
I don't
thing.
know. I didn't make it that far. I didn't make it that far. Because one thing with me in scary games, I hate mannequins, and I hate that shit.
Just
Like,
the-
that bothers me. So then, like, I went around the corner, and I turned around. As soon as I turned around, there's a mannequin right behind me.
Don't you work at Gap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a picture at work that one day in the basement of a Gap.
It's all the.
It was all the mannequins, and I was like, I've seen this situation.
Yeah, like I've been here. Get me the fuck out.
So like literally, I turned around. There's a
Resident
mannequin
Evil
standing
warehouse.
behind me. Like didn't jump scare me. I knew it was gonna be there, but at that point, I just escaped from the game. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with no mannequins. That's it. So I haven't played it since. I probably won't.
The demo. You were
know what
close
to
to
buy
the
you
end
for
though.
Christmas.
Yeah. It was.
VR.
It was
Mannequin.
definitely, in my opinion, the right direction. I think Resident Evil needs to kind of go in to stay relevant in the times right now. I think if they put out another Resident Evil 6 or
Action.
5,
To the
Yeah,
horror.
another action game that they were
I
making.
would be fucking bullshit. So
I think it's really
I'm
smart. of
I'm
them to
fine
do.
with it, and I could imagine like in VR, if you could play what I played in VR perfectly, just like that,
This is where horror games are at right now.
Yep.
And it's
that
a
would be
horror
fucking
game, so-
sweet.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that, like you said, it's definitely the right direction to go in, especially if you're doing VR. It's completely immersive because you have the headphones on, you've got the mask on.
iPhones.
Well, I meant the
iPhones on.
eyepieces.
The Oculus.
So, anyways,
Yeah, I know that
Goggle.
Capcom's doing a Resident Evil experience over in London very soon.
well, the
And-
Isn't it
game's
like a
coming
little
out in,
room
like,
that they
the
let
end
you
of the
walk
month.
around
Yeah.
in the fake house?
So they're doing like you're the detectives going into a house, and it's free. It's like, but it's over in London. So,
Want to check it out?
yeah.
If you want to check
Fly
it out,
over to
fly over to London.
It's free. You probably won't get in, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, and you'll never get out.
No.
No, no.
Take it easy,
All right,
Gary.
So I'm done. I'm going to Anthony.
All right. So I only played one game this week, and it's the same game I played last week, which was Stories: Paths of Destinies.
Nice. Did you finish it?
I finished. All right. So it has
Finished a story.
a story. So I finished 6 of the 25 endings this game has.
What, hold on. So you played through this game 6 times?
6 times. Because what you have to, what it does is when you get to the
Like Groundhog Day.
kind of like that. It tells you a different piece of like the puzzle of like what not to do.
Okay, so then you go like, all right, so
So-
I shouldn't have went to New York. I should have stayed in Tallahassee.
Pretty much. So like you said, like the book theory, which pretty much the book has the power to reverse the time for you. So when you get to the end,
It's like,
you
you wanna go
realize
back.
you go all the way back to 1, and every time like you have a dialogue option, it'll pop up of like that like a guy's gonna portray you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like don't go this way.
That's pretty cool. So then you play through all, like you could technically play through the correct way your first time.
yeah.
But if you finish the game, you see the entire story that way. And then it's like, there's a better story. Do you want to go back in time? And then you go back in time and try to redo it.
Yeah, and then this time you're like, fuck you, Ted. I'm not taking that. I'm going this way. And then
Yeah,
Ted
but I mean,
eats it.
Ted eats
How
it.
long is each story?
about 45 minutes a chapter. It's 5 chapters each.
So a whole playthrough of the game would take roughly 4 hours or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'd
then
say.
and then Well, I've died. All my endings have been. I've died every time. So
you're not
I'm
doing
not
so
hitting
great.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
not
hitting
finding
that.
the stride.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Go this way, and then it gives you
I
like
kind of want to play it one time and see how it happens.
see if you nail it, because I'd be pissed. Just get it on the first try.
No,
Potentially. Could
But-
happen.
But you do get to keep all the equipment that you've gathered from previous like playthroughs,
So it's like New Game Plus.
New Game
Yeah.
Plus, and then you get to unlock like they use the swords to unlock like secret doors.
I remember that from the demo that I played. Yeah.
So you get to unlock all the doors you had previously kind of missed to get more treasure along the way. The greatest aspect of this game is really like the dialogue from like the guy commentating, and then he does the voice of the character at the same time. So like you'll be screwing around, like just swinging your sword around, and he's like, Ronaldo really likes to hear the sound of the wind.
That's pretty good.
It's like, and then he makes like video game references, like you smash a pot, and he's like Ronaldo smash.
Very nice.
So it's got like that kind of stuff in it.
It sounds like the dialogue and the dialogue is just really well written.
Dialogue's pretty
notch.
good. The story is the generic, like
Save
I
the
said, like
world.
yeah, the toad's gone evil, and then it's like the options it gives you. It's like, do you want to go to the scientist to make sure this weapon's safe, or do you want to just go to the final battle and just fucking crush everything?
So you went to the final battle, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and then you die.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So you didn't crush everything?
No.
No.
It
You got
actually
crushed.
it tells you there's a 1 in 128 chance that this weapon will kill you, and you hit that 1%. You hit that 1 out of 28, and
Nice.
you die.
Well, I'm excited for you.
But now you know not to go that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So that was that's pretty much all I played this week, though. So I'm continue playing it just to try to get the perfect ending where he doesn't die.
Good luck.
Yeah, I still have 19 more to go.
Yep.
So
Let's see how
You'll
that.
find it.
Yeah, you'll
I
find
have
it.
faith.
do you?
Yep.
All
If
right,
not, you'll look it up, watch a video on it, then
Just to-
do it,
and
and
then
then
do it.
say you completed it.
correct.
There you go.
Get that trophy and then call it a day.
Yep.
So moving on. Yep.
You shouldn't have.
Too
Thanks.
much like you.
So it was a slow week, slow couple weeks for me. I don't have anything new. I just got a new game today, Dishonored 2. It'll be next week. But for me, I continued to play Pokemon. I started my second playthrough with all three of the starters, thanks to borrowing Gary's 3DS. What?
I gave you the starter, you asshole.
Did you?
Yeah, the kitten.
Oh, yeah, you gave me the cat. I appreciate that a lot.
Been helping you a lot. Caught the ditto for you.
Yeah. Caught the Ditto for me. Thanks. Anything else you want to throw in there?
Yeah.
What else you got?
Showed you where the ranch was to breed.
Showed me how to breed at the ranch.
Yeah, told you to buy the game.
Anthony's a stud.
Anthony crushing it.
Might as
You
well
actually owe everything.
yeah, you might as well just
Anthony-
pass me the game.
Yeah, Anthony's been playing Pokemon for me. It's been going very well.
Beat the Elite Four for
He's
you.
on my
Wow.
second playthrough. So yeah, the game's pretty awesome. The text still sucks,
crushing B,
but
huh?
I did go into options and change the text to fast.
you finally figured that out.
I didn't know about that. What?
You didn't know
Option-
Dude, that was
no.
my
First
first thing.
Says
I
the
do that
original
every game.
Pokemon.
Every
Do you
game.
want to read normal or fast?
What?
Yeah, you didn't know
Welcome
that?
to
All
the future. RPGs have
Gary,
that.
dude.
The B is crushed so much faster.
I turn off.
You don't have to wait for it.
It
to,
just gets to the
yeah.
end
You could
fast.
you hit it
turn
and
off
then it
battle
goes.
scenes as well. Just
You
to
can
fucking
well, the
go
battles
through.
are fun. I like
Yeah,
that.
but the second playthrough, you don't need to see that shit twice.
I kind of feel like I want to. But yeah, I did that, so that's always awesome.
That's good to know. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, mark that down. Fast text.
In the options.
In the options menu.
Yeah, I guess I'll mention in my boredom of waiting to get a new game, I went back to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and there's 32 hidden music boxes that you can collect.
I thought there was 40. I could be wrong.
It's
I
in the high-
trust you.
It's
That
in the
may have
mid,
caught
yeah,
eight
it's in the
and then-
high 30s somewhere, potentially low 40s. But I got them all, and you get a legendary outfit only for Eevee.
I feel like I played the game through as Eevee because I felt like she was a more interesting character. Anyways.
Yeah, and then they have their story ones that you have to be one
Yeah.
or the other. But yeah, so I got it. It's actually really nice. It says that it's one of the assassins. I forget what the person's name was, but it was from the first human civilization. Apparently, in the
gotcha,
lore.
yeah.
And it's cool if you're
Was
standing.
it Michael Fassbender's outfit?
Yeah, I think it was. But it's pretty cool. It's a white assassin's outfit, and it's a little transparent to it.
Is it
has,
supposed to be like Altair?
Yeah, I think so. And it's
outfit?
supposed to be probably the very first ever active camouflage, the first
Gotcha.
civilizations. It's very cool. So I'm like right at the very end. I got like a few missions left. I'll probably crush it out. So I played that a little bit in between matches of Overwatch, which I'm pretty sure the three of us played a shitload all the
Yep.
time, every time,
But there
constantly.
was
There was
Anything
one.
new?
You know what? There was one thing new.
What's that?
what was it?
It was a new map and it was awesome. Oasis.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, baby.
So the new
Oasis.
map,
Yeah.
Oasis, it looks a lot like Las Vegas. A little bit.
yeah,
That's what
like,
I'm
takes
Takes
getting.
place in the Middle East.
It does take place in the Middle East. It's almost
Las
like
Vegas.
A
The Middle East. It
but
looks
it's-
like a Vegas in the Middle East.
Yeah,
So
it's
like an
so
Overwatch
Dubai.
Vegas.
Probably like a Dubai.
Dubai,
It's
yeah.
probably Dubai.
yeah. That's what it's.
Traveling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like you said, it kind of in the desert of this Overwatch world, which
yep.
is pretty cool. But I like that. What's the game type where
It's a control
It's a
map.
control map, and it's very round. I feel like all the control points have almost 360 degrees for. It doesn't feel like if you're on
Closed
this
off.
side, this is the side you're coming in. It feels like the enemies are coming from everywhere, and it's
Yep.
cool. It's
Any-
like
and
arena.
you
It
come
feels
from any
very
angle.
arena. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
This is-
It's
they put a
open.
lot of
Verticality.
to it.
Yeah, it's
very
an
good.
open map, which I enjoy because
Slayer.
well, it's not even just Slayer. It's just like people can't hide in
Yeah,
a
if
corner,
you're
and they
in-
can't be like these choke points where you can't get through.
Can't get it around,
There's
like
a lot of
Icon Wall.
different. There's a lot of different ways that you can get around these maps.
Like I was
There's
finding
only
it tough to
one-
play Reinhardt. It's
Oh,
like
it's
this
very
because people
difficult
can
to
get
play.
right
Throw the
behind
question,
you.
Who does it benefit the most?
It
It's-
benefits attack characters.
Yeah, I'd say.
I would say because it's so open, characters like McCree,
A lot of
Genji,
damage per second.
Yeah.
they have a lot to work with here.
McCree's from the desert.
Especially that one that is literally a full circle, and then you have that one little gazebo
in the middle.
cone. So there's a little tiny place that you can walk through, but then it's pretty high up, and it's an
It's a
open
huge donut shape.
donut shaped thing, and then you can be on I think both sides up high shooting down. So if you're a Junkrat and you're up top there, you can just lob grenades down and hope to kill people. And being in that point
Or even a
is
soldier,
very
Widowmaker.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Being so there is. I feel like when I'm playing that, there's a lot of back and forth between the control point. So normally on a control map, it's like one team gets it, and then the second or the opposite team kind of takes it over and then almost finishes the map, or then but with this, it's going back and forth. It's not necessarily.
One thing I like is that it's probably going to change the dynamic up a little bit when you play on it, because some characters now, at the risk of being flanked so easily, like I said, Reinhardt, for example, people might start using different combos just because this map comes up, and you're like, okay, well,
I feel like
these
it's very
characters
hard
are-
to play Zenyatta on that donut shaped map because
You're just open for
You're
fire.
so open, and
Mercy's
you can't,
probably a little tough. But yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be fun to figure out what happened. I like to just, like, I was playing Diva, and the point is just so open, and you're just shots on everybody.
Yep.
There's
There's the one that has the catwalk across the top of it, where one of the first, I think it was the first night that it was available. I was playing it, and I was playing as Diva, and my entire team was dead, and I was contesting the point, but nobody knew I was up on the catwalk. So they weren't looking, and I wasn't shooting them to let them know
alert
that I
them,
was
yeah.
up there. So I was contesting the point the entire time. My team came in,
And then you could
they
start
started shooting. I jumped down behind everybody and started shooting them, and we ended up taking over that point and winning the round. But like,
Sneaky bastard.
I saw a cool
I didn't
video.
even know what I was doing until like I was like, oh shit, I'm actually contesting the point. I
Yeah.
should stay here and not shoot that person that's right there.
I saw a cool video of the point that is the donut shape with the little gazebo of a Bastion going up on the teleporter. He was going up and down, up and down. He was bouncing up and down, and every time he came up, he was shooting at the point, and he would go up, and he was shooting, and then people were trying to come up, and he
Yeah.
was just bouncing up and down. So it's going to be weird shenanigans and shit like
Yeah,
that. that are
so
gonna
it has
happen.
launch pads. This
Yeah.
map has
But they
launch
don't
pads.
they don't break the map. They're there. They make a noise so you can hear if somebody goes up. So if you're an attack character, you can turn around and say, "Oh, that guy's just flying in the air right now. That's a Junkrat. That's an easy kill."
I feel like it's also it makes Farah a little less powerful on those maps because you
Because
can
people can get higher up
Yeah.
and get closer to her. It's
But
gonna
it
be
also
interesting.
helps her out too a little bit because there's a lot of open rocket spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. They also, Overwatch released their Diablo 20th anniversary sprays
Yeah, we were talking about that last
and
week during the
icon.
news.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and
you
so
got
those were, I liked them. I liked them.
Yeah,
I
they're
thought
pretty
the sprays were actually like well done. They had the, who is it, Justin?
The
Tyrell.
no, who's the one
The
from
Witch
Diablo
Doctor?
3, the Witch Doctor? Yeah,
They had the
the
Witch
Witch
Doctor. It was
Doctor.
really well done. They had the Crusader. They had everyone as sprays for every character, and then they had an icon, a Diablo icon for the game, which I thought was just cool. It was really small, but
They didn't make
the
it
designs that they chose and everything were really well done. I thought, and that was it's just Overwatch and Blizzard just adding on to the game. It's good stuff.
yeah. But Justin, anything else, or you have nothing?
No, I think that's about it. I'm excited, to play Dishonored 2.
Cool. I look forward to it next week. God, Mike, you got anything?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for Under Your Thumb this week. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with the drunken news. Stay tuned.